Hello all sentient beings and welcome to Transmissions Alt Mode, where we talk all news, comics, and media related to the... On this episode of Transmissions Alt Mode, IDW announces their new Transformers comic book series. The Transformers Rescue Bots Academy series premieres this January, and there's a special reading of A Beast Wars Night Before Christmas. Today is Friday, December 28th, 2018, and this is episode 109 of Transmissions Alt Mode.
Welcome to Transmissions Alt Mode, the podcast that hopes the Transformers reboot doesn't turn out like the reboot. I'm your host Charles, aka Big C, and I'm joined by the excellent Transmissions team. Yusuf, better known as Yoshi.
Yo!
Jeremy, aka Yakko.
Hello.
And Daryl, the Cybertronian Beast.
Hey, how's it going? Let's talk Transformers.
We're back again for another discussion of Transformers comics and media. As always, we start off the show by thanking our Donatreons. Thank you to all those folks who give us money on PayPal and Patreon. You guys are awesome. Also, if you are interested in some Transmission swag, you can go to transmissionspodcast.com/shop and check out our TeePublic store. There's lots of good stuff there. Maybe you got some Christmas money you're itching to spend. Why not a Transmission shirt? Or any TeePublic shirt. Looks great, I assume. Also, we just had our December Toy Hacks drawing in the main Transmission show in episode 309. So congratulations to Dual Mirrored Woodwork, longtime Transmissions listener and Patreon supporter. And he won a $10 gift code to Toy Hacks. So he's got some stickers coming his way.
He beat out narrowly DJ Ronan for that win.
Yes, it was very close. So congratulations to DMG. And let's hop right into some comics news. All right, well, finally, we've got some information about upcoming Transformers comics from IDW. Looks like March of 2019 is when we are getting some interesting stuff. So first, there is a collection, it's called Synergy. It's based on Hasbro, of all the Hasbro toy properties, where it's a celebration of girls and toys that they like and their things that they played with as fans of all the Hasbro properties. So we've got stuff with G.I. Joe, Gem and the Holograms, My Little Pony, and Transformers. And one of the stories in this anthology book will be written by Margaret Scott with art by Sarah Peter Durocher. And that will feature all the lady Transformers there. We've got one of Sarah's art that has a nice picture with all the IDW Transformers ladies. We've got Windblade, Chromia, Nautica, RC, Anode, and Lug. No Aileron, though. Where's Aileron? Left her out. Oh, and Velocity's in there, too. So that's a cool image, and I'm looking forward to what they're going to be. It says Margaret Scott's story is going to be autobiographical, so maybe it'll be a story about how she got into Transformers as a kid. I'm interested to...
Are we looking at new Transformers art, or is this Photoshopped together?
No, this is new. This is new art.
Okay.
Didn't Sarah do that?
Yeah. That's Sarah Peter Durocher's art.
Well, good for her. I'm thinking Sarah Stone. I don't know why I said that. I apologize. I take back everything.
Okay. Yeah, so this will be an interesting book, so I'm curious as to what it's going to be. It says it's going to have some pinups, so I think that one... So 4 new pinups, one of which is that IDW Transformers one, and 13 illustrations from the archive. So yeah, there will be some reprints, but there will be new art too. And then these stories. So look forward to that. So that was one announcement. Then the next announcement, which was a biggie, is we finally get information about the new Transformers series, comic series, coming from IDW. It is going to come also in March of 2019. It will be simply titled Transformers. And not really a big surprise, it will be tying in. Well, they didn't say this explicitly, but I'm pretty sure it's tying in with the new War for Cybertron Siege toy line, because they are going back to the past in the early days of Cybertron and how the war began, and they are starting from those first principles. The new series is going to be written by Brian Rookley, and it's going to have 2 issues a month. So it's a semi-monthly series. So they're going to have 2 main artists, Angel Hernandez and Ron Joseph. So I assume...
Did you say that with air quotes? Because we know how good they are at 2 issues a month.
Yeah, the plan is for 2 issues a month. We'll see how that goes, but but with 2 art, I mean, at least on the production side, they've got 2 artists. I assume they'll have 2 colorists working on it. So the books will be ready. Whether Diamond will distribute them, that's another story. But yeah, so the setup, at least the little bit we've got about the new series is that it starts off really at the tail end of the golden age of Cybertron. Apparently, in this version of Transformers, there has been no murder on Cybertron. No Cybertronian has died in millennia, and the apparent murder of a certain Transformer kicks off the Great War. So that's an interesting setup. I mean, the idea that the golden age meant that there was no death on Cybertron is an interesting premise. I'm intrigued by that. So we'll see where it goes from there.
Kind of gives me a little bit of a Swindle Lives vibe.
No, I was just saying, just because that was when Swindle died or went into a coma, that was what sparked the Decepticon uprising. Yeah. I'm curious where it is. What were you saying, Jeremy?
I was just gonna say it's kind of like without the whole nobody dying until this, but it kicks off kind of like World War One, where like one murder kind of triggered everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So who is the Archduke Ferdinand on Cybertron?
Yeah. Exactly.
Also, so we don't have they announced the 2 artists, but oddly they didn't showcase any art from the 2 artists on the main artists on the book. So they gave us a couple of covers. One of the covers is by Gabriel Rodriguez, which features just Megatron and Optimus Prime standing shoulder to shoulder, looking quite friendly at the moment. Megatron does not have a Decepticon symbol on his chest, but Optimus Prime does have an Autobot symbol on his shoulder. So that's interesting. And then the other cover is by Casey Collar, and it features Optimus Prime with Prowl, Chromia, and Windblade in the front, Megatron in shadow, like in a silhouette in the background, with Starscream in his Tetrajet mode, and Soundwave and Shockwave in their spaceship modes. So that's what makes it clear to me that this is going to be a tie-in to the War for Cybertron Siege line, because these are all their toy modes that were shown at New York Comic Con last year. Particular that Starscream Tetrajet design, I still do not like that, so it's a little bit disappointing that that's the design they're using in the comic series, but whatever. And Windblade is front and center there, so that's interesting. So Windblade will feature in this new series as well, along with Chromia. We haven't seen a Windblade War for Cybertron Siege toy yet, so I wonder if that means there is one on the horizon. And I think we do know that there's a Prowl toy coming. We just haven't seen what it looks like yet.
We have.
Well, we've seen like images, but not the actual toy, right?
Is that the same thing? We've seen what the toy looks like. We just haven't seen it in person.
But we've seen drawings, but not photos, have we?
I think we have.
I don't think they showed it at New York Comic Con.
Oh, but it's came out since then.
Oh, Oh, there you go. Yes. Thanks, Kurt, in the chat for refreshing my memory. Anyway.
How about you were right, Daryl?
Okay, you were right, Daryl.
Yes.
Happy?
Yes, I wanted the soundbite.
Now you have to figure out how to edit to clip it out.
Well, I can clip out a sound clip, no problem.
So this is all the information we have. So we've got the 2 covers from Gabriel Rodriguez and Casey Collar, and we've got a 3rd cover that was also just announced from Jeffrey Veregi, and this is the kind of minimalist covers that he's known for. And yeah, we were just discussing before the show started that this is something Jeremy's into. So what do we think about this new direction? So Yoshi, is this is another chance to hop onto a new Transformers series? And anything interesting you, or are you just want a G1 reboot and
this is a Transformers reboot, clean slate. They want to throw Windblade and everyone else that never existed before at the beginning here. I'm okay with that. We're a reboot. We're starting fresh. Let's have this clean slate and I'll buy the first issue and see what happens. The mandatory has to be designed like the toys is fearful to me. This is Hasbro sticking their foot in some place that they have no business in being in. Every time during the last series is that they demanded a certain figure be in or a story arc be addressed, it screwed up the book. So I don't think that is a good promising start here. This is you're already curtailing what the artists probably wanted to do, and that's unfortunate. And as far as the art goes, I'm not seeing anything hopeful in the art. It's I don't know.
The art we haven't seen the actual artists. These are just cover art. So
right. Angel Hernandez has done a number of books. I looked up the Star Trek Green Lantern series, and it's pretty good. It's largely humans and aliens and stuff, but I think his work is going to be good. I'm not sure if I've seen the other artist, his stuff.
Right.
I mean, I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt.
Like I said, clean slate with the reboot and whatever characters they want to throw in there. I'm not going to hold that against them. I'm just you made a point, Charles, and I didn't catch it, but Hasbro's clearly already putting their hands in shit that they have no business in fucking with, and it's never been good in the past. It's never worked out for them.
I mean, you say they have no business in putting their hands in, but I think that's like their total business. I mean, since the beginning, since the original comic series, Hasbro has always mandated putting toys that look like they're toys in the comic. I mean, You're not going to get away from that. It is a licensed comic designed to, sell Transformers.
So let me clarify what I'm saying, since it's clear we can't figure it out. But in the 80s, my understanding was, hey, Budiansky, you need to feature this figure because it's coming out soon. And now you need to feature this figure. Now you need to feature this figure. He was playing a game of trying to write around stuff that they were throwing in. It felt like, to my understanding, in the recent past here, when Hasbro said, hey, Combiner Wars, for example, you need to do X, Y, and Z in presenting the figures, which kind of it threw that fantastic Prowlistator storyline right out the fucking window. So I think I have some ground to stand on. Anytime that they interject themselves in the comic books, they fuck up the story
when they get into the editorial side.
Sure.
Aren't the 80s books your favorite?
Right. Am I not differentiating, or am I not explaining the difference between their involvement in the 80s compared to now very well?
I think what he's saying is they didn't dictate the plot points and stuff in the 80s. They were just like, feature these characters. Whereas like the crossovers like Dark Cybertron and Titan's Return and all those they were heavily influenced by Hasbro mandates.
Well, I think that right now them telling them how to make the characters look is actually very helpful to the artists. You give them, for Casey Collar particularly, he's coming off of, 13 years of drawing characters the same way. Now he's all of a sudden he's got to draw characters a different way, and all of these artists have to be on the same page. How do you tell a group of artists to be on the same page when nobody knows what direction to go in, right? So you say, look, start with the toys. The toys are coming out. That's the way that they should look. After that, you guys establish your thing and you can go from there. That's the way it went before, right? They started them off on the ongoing with saying, focus them on the movies. Wasn't the greatest decision, but that's where they focused them. But they've said, base your drawings on the movies base your drawings now on the toys, and all the artists can look at the new toys, the way that they're coming out, and say, this is the way the characters are going to look in the book. There could be some differences here and there, but generally they're all going to look the same, right? And they all have reference.
Yes. I'm not arguing that part.
I think I do agree, Yoshi, that I hope that Hasbro is not going to be involved in storytelling, like directing the storytelling. So at this point, they have I think they've kind of dictated the setting and the characters that are be featured. Now we'll see where the story goes from there. But yeah, I mean, if it gets into yearly events, that's where I have problems too.
Well, not just you, but everybody that reads the books. I mean, nobody was happy with those events. Yeah, it's Hasbro's property, but a solely focused company on marketing doesn't have any business in this. Yet they do, but look at the results; they're not good. I mean, that's where I'm coming from when I make a statement like that. They don't know comic books.
Okay, yeah. Jeremy, Daryl, what do you guys think?
Yeah, like I said earlier, I'm generally optimistic here. I like the setting. We had been previously, when we've speculated about it, I was like, I want to see the early days of the war. We're definitely getting that. I know nothing about the writer other than what I've read online. Like, he's done historical or like fantasy books kind of in medieval times or whatever, but that doesn't mean that he can't write Transformers. And we'll see, once we see his work and get to interact with him, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I mean, I agree. I don't want Hasbro to tell them like what plot points they need to add. Leave the comic stuff to the comics guys. I mean, we have John Barber as editor-in-chief. I'm confident that he is going to help steer this in a cohesive way, and I'm pretty sure Hasbro has confidence in John. My biggest issue is I'm just hoping Diamond doesn't screw them on the shipping thing that they're trying to do.
All right, and Daryl, are you looking forward to this?
Well, I do like my Transformers comics. I'm excited for a different series of issues and a different writer at the helm. I don't mind it starting off with character designs. We know that the designs of the bots change over the course of a series. Sometimes they can change multiple times within the same title. So, who knows? So yeah, I'm excited about it. As far as the art goes, I'm happy to see Casey there. We know him very well. From what I can tell, this what's his name? Rodriguez.
Gabriel Rodriguez.
Yeah, him. Yeah. He's got some skills. So I'm willing to give them all a chance. It looks good. I don't think I've read anything by the current or the new writer. We'll see what it's all about, but they deserve a shot. So let's. I think it's worth their while to give them a shot. We just got off some heavy stuff from the previous two writers. Definitely don't expect this next stuff to be as heavy. But early days of the war, I like that stuff. Some of my favorite stuff was those, what was it, Monstrosity, Primacy, and Autocracy. I loved that stuff. Those were really great. Behind the scenes, beginnings of the war kind of stuff. So, I'm looking forward to it.
Cool. Yeah, I'm also I'm curious and cautiously optimistic. So I want to see what what a new perspective can do with Transformers, and curious to see what the new artists will do and how they'll structure the story with 2 issues a month by 2 different artists. I wonder if it'll be like 2 different time periods or 2 different settings, or just continue the same story across 2 issues with different art styles.
Have they confirmed that it's going to be 2 different artists?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's how. I mean, I assume that's how they're going to be able to maintain a 2 books a month schedule. I mean, a single artist would not be able to keep up with that.
No, they wouldn't. But they've also been off for a while. Like, so there's possibility that they've got issues in the bag already that they can release 2 at a time.
Well, but this is how like a lot of the publishers are doing now. Like the Bendis Superman stuff, it's 2 books a month and different artists, but the same writer.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know the art is the longest part of the whole comic making process.
Sure.
Yeah. So as I said at the beginning, it's Angel Hernandez and Ron Joseph. Those are the 2 artists.
Mm-hmm. It also doesn't give you as much time to like really fall in love with an artist. If you're constantly switching up artists from book to book to book to book, you can't really get involved in someone's style because it's constantly changing.
Well, yeah, I mean that's why I said maybe the 2 issues will have 2 parallel stories. I mean that's a possibility.
Yeah, but it being named the same, that'd be hard to follow.
We'll see in March.
There could be 2 stories per book. I mean, and then each artist doing 1 story per book, half the pages.
Okay, and we have gotten the first solicits for the first couple of Transformers issues. I don't know if maybe we shouldn't talk so. I mean, I don't want to read them directly because they do kind of spoil. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of spoilery, but it does chart it's a very different Cybertron than what's traditionally been shown in previous incarnations. So there's some new twists here, and it does seem to focus on, at least at the beginning, Chromia and Prowl as Cybertronian police officers. So that's interesting.
Well, that's just describing cover A of number 2.
Yeah, but I don't want to say more than that.
What I think is interesting is like in the overall description, it seems like the point of view character is going to be this newly forged Cybertronian that is kind of introduced to the world, and that's how we're going to get the new origin.
Mm-hmm.
Seems to be interesting. Now, obviously, Bumblebee is going to be front and center because movie and everything. So I mean, interesting is that. So we've got both Bumblebee and Windblade seem to feature in this new series, and we have not seen any Siege toys for them, War for Cybertron Siege toys for them. So I'm guessing in Toy Fair in February, we're going to see a Bumblebee and a Windblade in the War for Cybertron line. Yeah, I can see they were holding Bumblebee back because of all the movie toys.
Yeah.
So.
Also, there's probably a whole shitload of figures for them on the shelves with the Cyberverse stuff.
Yeah, that too.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them.
Looks like the issue 1 of the new Transformers series. So there's a Sarah Peter Durocher variant cover. That's a Transformers 35th anniversary cover. That's going to be 10 copies. So that's going to be the super rare retailer incentive. And then there are 2 other ones by 2 other retailer incentives of 25 and 50 copies each by Freddie E. Williams II. So I guess we're going to be on the hunt for that Sarah Peter Durocher cover.
Thankfully, issue 1 of a Reboot generally stores order a bunch.
Yeah. And the second one is where that I think that Jeffrey Vareggi cover is going to be, and that's going to be a 10 copy retailer incentive. So also in the solicits, I guess the IDW Phase 2 collection Volume 9 is continuing, so that's collecting Transformers issues 39 to 43, More Than Meets the Eye 41 to 44, and Windblade Volume 2 issues 1 to 5. So I think that was a Combiner Wars arc there. So
and then we get the Star Trek versus Transformers trade as well.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's it for the March Transformers solicits. All right. So we don't have a comic review this week. We're taking a break because of the holiday. But let's talk about some Transformers media news.
Oh boy, here I was ready for a bit of a break. Okay, so media news this week. We've got Rescue Bots Academy premiering on January the 5th. So take a look for that if that's what you're looking for. It's going to be, they're planning to roll out 52 episodes series. So it's going to be intense. I'm expecting it to be short episodes. That's a lot of episodes for first season. But yeah, so take a look at that January 5th on your TV. We've got a fun video that just kind of popped up here. Jeremy, you want to talk about this?
Yeah, I saw this pop up on, I think it was Facebook that I saw it on, but Garry Chalk posted it. He and Richard Newman performed a Beast Wars Night Before Christmas story, and it was pretty amusing. And we're used to the David K. Beast Wars Megatron holiday greeting, and it looks like some of the other voice actors are getting in on the fun.
It's definitely a good watch. Give it a listen.
Yeah. The only problem is, as Yoshi mentioned before the show when we were talking about it, it is vertical video.
Yeah. So yeah, give that a listen or a watch, and it's nice to hear Garry Chalk give his version of Megatron. So. Oh
yeah, that was really good too.
Mm-hmm. In Bumblebee movie news, as of this recording, it's still not out in wide release, but if you're listening to this, then it is out. So we're still looking at some promo marketing materials because the promo train is in like high demand right now. It's just going hard. So we've got a Bumblebee commercial for a 2019 Volkswagen Beetle. We've got Bumblebee Beats Spotify playlist and a giveaway of a cassette campaign for Australia. Haley Steinfeld was interviewed. Travis Knight was interviewed. We've also got a interview with the Bumblebee movie writer Christina Hodson. So that's all available. Just check out the show notes if you're interested in reading all that stuff. And then we've also got an IO9 article on how Bumblebee's 1980s setting turned it into every Transformers fan's dream. So with Travis Knight and Christina Hodson. I didn't get a chance to read this yet. I'm still avoiding everything because as of right now, I haven't watched the movie, so everything is potential spoiler material for me. So, have any of you read this?
I did.
All right. Tell me about it. Without spoiling anything.
One of the things that was interesting in this was where Travis Knight was talking about how he really fought for having those classic designs in the Cybertron scenes.
Oh, good.
And that was good. I mean, he got some pushback from like Paramount and Hasbro not understanding how people would take to these designs, and he also kind of got Michael Bay's blessing in like doing his own thing in this movie, not doing it in the same style as the other movies, which was kind of nice. Christina Hodgson mentioned how the big story isn't really changed much from her original plans and pitch for the movie. There's a few details that were added, like I think the Cybertron stuff she said was added in through the process, but overall this was like the story that she had planned and it came to fruition. So it's a pretty good read.
Nice. So take a look at that if you're so choosing. It's on the show notes as well. And lastly, we have it linked in the show notes here as well. But and actually, it probably went up as a standalone show. But I was on legitimate radio, and I was on a station here local to me, and it's called FM 96. It's a rock station. We were talking Bumblebee movie and Transformers in general, and we had a good time. I think I was on there for about half an hour, 45 minutes or so, and had some fun with the guys in the morning. It's the Taz and Jim show, or the Taz show. It was fun. Had a good time. And that's it for media news.
Yeah, that was. I listened to it live, and it was very cool hearing Daryl. Daryl, your years of podcasting served you well on the radio. Yeah. I think you did a great job.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. I too took a short trip to Canada so I could listen to it online. And I thought you did a great job.
Well, thanks, guys.
I haven't listened to it yet.
Well, it was pretty early for you.
Yeah. I'm working on getting better audio, so hopefully once that comes in, we can switch up the audio. But as of right now, it's still listenable. So take a listen and we did a trivia question or a trivia contest, and I got stumped on a pretty basic question, but it was about the live action movie series, so I'm not all that upset.
You were schooling everybody else though. You were pretty tough.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's good that if you had to get stumped, you got stumped on a human question. So that's fair.
Yeah. She didn't even have a name from all I could tell.
All right. Well, that's all the media news, and that'll do it for this episode of Transmissions Alt Mode. So we don't have any convention news or feedback again this week. I mean, it is the holiday, so people are probably resting. So we'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Later.
Happy New Year.
Talk to you later.
Hey everyone, thanks for listening to this episode of Transmissions. But just because this episode is over doesn't mean the Transformers fun has to stop. Join us and other Transformers fans on our Discord chat server by visiting transmissionspodcast.com/discord. If you would like to learn more about how you could support the Transmissions Podcast, just visit transmissionspodcast.com/support. Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you again next week.
Recording.
Mark.
I hit it first.
I was born ready.
Or at least very well prepared.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
Just start, Charles. I'm waiting.
You keep talking when I'm about to start. All right. Well, that's it for the March Transformer solicits. And let's, I don't know how to...
Move on
can Mike edit in? Yeah. All right, and let's move on. Since we don't have a comic review this week, let's move on to some Transformers media news.
That was smooth.
Very smooth.
Stop.
Sorry, Mike.
We can quit the podcast?